Hey YouTube, it's Joel here, and it's been a while since I've showcased my saltwater aquarium, so I thought I'd make a quick video giving you guys an update on what's been going on. So as you can see, there have been some pretty big changes since the last video I've made. Out here in Southern California, we unfortunately had a pretty big heat wave. My thermometer read all the way up to like 85 at one point, which is why I started using these Hygger Aquarium Fans, which seem to work pretty well, along with using ice packs. It managed to bring it down to at least 79 or 80, as long as it's in the green range. But yeah, so I had a really bad heat wave. The tank got super high, around 85 degrees Fahrenheit. It killed off a lot of my corals. I lost my Galaxia coral, some trumpets, some SPS, my akins, torch coral, a few soft corals. This large toadstool that I used to have started melting. I'm really hoping it could bounce back. You can see some of the polyps are like trying to reach out, but the stalk is like melting pretty badly. Thankfully, the bubble coral survived. You can see there was a little bit of tissue recession over here as well. I purchased a few more corals to hopefully add some more diversity to the tank, but here's some zoanthids, a couple daisy polyps, more zoanthids, and then I'm gonna try again with some green candy cane corals. I lost a lot of my mushrooms, but here's one that survived. Here's another one. A lot of my Duncan heads began to die off, but here's one. Looks like another one right there, and then there's a third. I still have my rock flower anemone, thankfully, but it did shrink quite a bit. Lost a lot of my Palithoas. These guys seem to have bleached themselves. They're not as bright as they used to be, but slowly receding. Same with my Xenia coral. You can see there's a couple of polyps that are just melting away, unfortunately. I also lost my feather dusters. As you can see, here are just the tubes. My Kenya tree coral almost also melted completely, but you can see a couple of the branches survived. The large stalk that I used to have did melt away. I did have to remove that, but at least this one survived. Surprisingly, two of my NPS corals survived. I do still have a sea sponge, which is probably the remaining NPS non-photosynthetic invertebrate in here, aside from the sun corals. So here are the sun corals, which seem to be around the same size as my last video, along with two heads of the black sun or cup coral. I also have a Lobophilia, just one head. The other one did die as well. Lots of Ogo, red Ogo. But yeah, so as you can see, it's pretty bad. In terms of fish, I still have Domino, my clownfish, and then I also have the Royal Grandma, who likes to be in the caves, and then I also do have my green clown goby somewhere in the caves. I unfortunately did lose my 6-line wrasse. I believe it jumped out because I just could not find it in the aquarium at all. Shortly after the heat wave, so I believe the high temperature did have something to do with that. I did also lose my fire shrimp, which I found floating around in the aquarium, so I was able to remove that guy. I started putting my Chaetomorpha into a hamster ball because I noticed that quite a bit of these really large fireworms will actually eat some of the macroalgae that I put in here. It started eating some of the red Ogos, so maybe I might start putting that in the hamster ball as well. But yeah, this was a much larger piece of Chaeto, but now it got really small due to the consumption by the fireworms. Thankfully, it only spins around the surface, so I haven't had any issues with it bumping into corals and things like that, but yeah, this is what I have to do at this point. I did also add this mangrove, which is starting to grow a little bit in the middle. Hopefully that helps control a little bit of the nitrates and phosphates as well. So on top of the heat wave, I also got my water tested, and we found a really high nitrate and phosphate spike, as well as low pH, which I believe also contributed to my decline in coral health. After a couple water changes, managed to clear that up a bit, but my pH was still pretty low, so I'm still working on fixing that. Also, to control the nitrates and phosphates, I ended up getting a skimmer, protein skimmer for the first time, along with a granular ferric oxide reactor, and then also just a sand filter. But yeah, so this is what the tank looks like overall. Unfortunately, right now, I am hoping to get it to bounce back once I can control the temperature and this heat wave subsides. But yeah, overall, this Hygger product is a really good one, especially for lowering temperatures. This is a 45-gallon aquarium, and it has managed to lower it quite a bit after running it for around 8 hours a day. It is set on a timer, so I can control how long it's on for during the day. One thing I will note is that it does work essentially like an evaporative cooler, in that it uses the water vapor to cool the air around it. So there's a lot of evaporation from the aquarium, so you will need to top off with fresh water pretty frequently. So yeah guys, that's unfortunately what it looks like for now. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more of the tank. Hopefully I can start giving you guys updates once it starts to look good again and I start ramping things up again. Maybe I'll go back into keeping non-photosynthetic corals. They are quite a bit difficult, but yeah, so that's what it looks like for now. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.